What is going on, grinders? We are live yet again. It's the Take Your Pick'em Pod, Take Your Pick'em Show. It is Monday, May 8th, 2023. So glad to come on and hang out with you guys yet again and talk about this slate. So really excited. You already know what we're going to do. We're going to go through our winning words of wisdom. This was coming from Maya Moore. I came across this one. I said, man, I think I like this one a lot. This is something Maya Moore said, played for Minnesota. She said, I think a winner has to be a master of preparation. They have to be a master of connection, extremely competitive, and have really high standards for themselves and the people around them. And I couldn't agree more. Shout out to Maya. And especially when she talks about in terms of preparation, I think preparation is one of the keys to success for sure. So I love that quote from her. We're going to get into it. Obviously, we're going to go back. This is a weekday show. So we're going to go back to Friday, and we're going to go over our recap from Friday. So overall on the season right now, in terms of picks that we've gotten right, picks that we've gotten wrong, we're actually 13-8. Probably doesn't feel that way, but we're actually 13-8. And so on Friday, we gave out a fair amount of picks. One of them was Bo Bichette, more than 1.5 total bases. We won that one. Bo Bichette fantasy points. That one did not come together for us. That one was a big disappointment. I mean, we were right there on the edge since the first inning. Just couldn't get across the finish line. Next one up, Zach Wheeler, less than 6.5 strikeouts. That one was a win. Chris Sale, more than or over more than 6 strikeouts. We got that one. Jordan Montgomery, more than 5.5 strikeouts. We got that one. Max Fried, less than 1.5 walks. Did not get that one. That was another heartbreaker. Had 0 walks, I think, through a good portion of the game, and then just imploded in the, I think, 6th or 7th inning, the 7th inning, if I'm not mistaken. Did get that one. Christian Javier, more than 17.5 pitching outs. We got that one. So in terms of picks right now, 13-8 on the season. And hopefully today, I really, really, really like this slate today. I think we're going to be able to put together some quality winning cards. So very excited to talk about this one and kind of roll with you guys here. So you know what time it is. Once again, if you're in your cars, I will talk about the information verbally for those of you that are not able to watch me along with the screen share right now. We're pulling that up. And so one of my favorite plays on the day, I'm not going to consider this my top play. I'll give it a top play somewhere in the middle of the show. But one of my favorites is Mitch Keller. And the sites right now have him at 5.5 strikeouts, mostly across the industry. This is a guy that I really like today. I think that, he's facing the Colorado Rockies. And if you've been along in the prop shop, you've known that the Rockies have been a team that have really given up the strikeouts to a lot of these players. So Mitch Keller at 5.5. I like more than that projection here on the season. And let me say this, Mitch Keller is a guy that I've enjoyed playing since spring training. He's a guy that I've been on, and I kind of saw him turning a corner even during spring training, and that has parlayed into the regular season, especially against certain teams. So got Mitch Keller, 27.9% K rate, 3.74 xFIP on the season, striking out lefties, at a 29.8% clip, and righties at a 26.1% clip as well. We do have some strikeouts in this lineup. Profar at 21%, CJ Cron 24%, McMahon 34%, Grichuk 20%, Tovar 24%. He'll have his opportunities. He's not going to strike out the whole team, but he will have his opportunities to get it done. We look at what he's mostly throwing to righties. Throwing a little bit of fastball, around 20%. He's throwing that fastball cutter, which is going to keep the ball on the ground. And as you can see, kind of as we get closer to the middle of this order, with Bryant, Chrome, Diaz, McMahon, the contact rate starting to come down, the whiff rate starting to come up. And that's something that we definitely want to see. Same thing for Ezekiel Tovar here at the bottom. 66% contact rate, 33.3% whiff rate. This is definitely an option for us. Also, he's throwing the sinker a ton. This is going to be his primary pitch to righties. As you can see, we've got good contact pitch, good contact numbers on the sinker. But the ground ball rates are there, so hopefully BABIP is in our favor, and he doesn't get rocked. But once again, that strikeout pitch on the cutter looking really good in terms of contact numbers overall for this team. So I really like this play. Once again, that's Mitch Keller at 5.5 strikeouts on the projection. We're definitely going to take more there. I'm going to go ahead and skip down to one of the later games. I think this is going to be one of the top pitchers on the slate from a DFS perspective and around the industry. I think we're going to see a lot of Zach Gallen investments. And I think, we're right on par here. Across the industry, Zach Gallen is going to be coming in at 6.5 strikeouts in terms of a projection on the pick'em sites. I'm siding with the more here. Miami's been a team that's been right for the picking all season. I do not anticipate that stopping today. This is a team that strikes out. We see Jazz Chisholm has a lot of upside, but the strikeouts are there. Zach Gallen on the season, 34.4% K rate, 2.25 xFIP. That is exceptional, folks. 3.1% walk rate. And so I like this one a ton. Some alternative props for Zach Gallen if we get them. If he comes in at 1.5 walks, I'm absolutely going to be taking less than that projection. I think this is a spot where he shouldn't be walking too many guys. As you can see, on this team, he's got to deal with the Reyes and Sanchez in terms of guys that actually walk a ton. But he's not a guy that's going to walk guys. He's going to pound the strike zone and have really good control and location. So I like Zach Gallen a ton. Once again, he's at 6.5 strikeouts across the pick'em sites. I like more than that projection. 38% K rate for Jazz, 29% for Soler, 33% for Jesus Sanchez, Brian De La Cruz, 35.5%, 25% for Fortes, and then he's got some sprinkles like Luis Arias doesn't strike out against anyone, so you don't really have to worry about him. If he strikes out, it's a miracle, and that's it's the truth. He hasn't struck out his whole baseball career. I don't see him striking out tonight. Yuli Gurriel, similar type player, doesn't strike out a ton. Gene Sakura could strike out in this matchup, but once again, just trying to paint the picture here, I think Zach Gallen is able to get it done big time on this slate. Like him a ton at 6.5 strikeouts. What he's mostly going to be throwing here is it's disappeared on me, so I won't worry about that. But bottom line is Zach Gallen, definitely a guy that we want to target on today's slate. I'm going to move on to another play here. And this one, I think, this one is more of what I see in recent trends. And then also because the matchup is actually good for him, but I don't like the way he's pitching. Things are just off. And so that's going to be John Gray. John Gray is sitting at 5.5 strikeouts across the pick'em sites. I'm going with the less than 5.5 strikeouts today. Look, the strikeouts are available for him on this slate. Don't get me wrong. Seattle's a team we've targeted with right-handed pitching. I mean, the strikeouts are plentiful. Rodriguez, 23%, Kalenic, 32%, Suarez, 28%, Cal Riley, 28%, Teoscar Hernandez, 32%, Caballero, 22.2%, and Trammell, 29%. The problem is John Gray's been awful this season, and the underlying numbers support that as well. 5.82 xFIP, which is pretty close to his ERA. 14.5% K rate, 10% walk rate. It's just getting hit hard. The numbers don't lie. And then look, to lefties, it's even worse. So 14% walk rate to lefties, 11.3% K rate. Something's going on with John Gray. John Gray's a pitcher that I've liked over the years, but something is off, similar to how Aaron Nola was just bad early in the season, just wasn't quite there. So with the projection of 5.5 strikeouts, I'm going to be going with less than for John Gray today. He's faced some teams that he could have gotten some strikeouts against, and they just haven't materialized. Me and Steven were talking about it last night. He is down about a mile per hour, a tick down on his velocity, which I don't feel like that one tick down should have affected him too much. But either way, he's not pitching well. Something's gone awry here. And so I am going to be taking less than 5.5 strikeouts for John Gray. One of the other things too, guys, if you guys have any questions or if you got a play that you want to talk about, please plug that in, man. I'm happy to do it. I know this is a shorter show, but I want to try to interact with you guys as much as I can. And thanks a bunch to everyone for joining in, listening, hanging out. participating. It is greatly appreciated. I got my man Boom Shakalaka from the shop. Listen, let me pause for a second and shout out my man Boom here. If you want to get some of the best comedy in the industry, come to the prop shop. Check out Boom Shakalaka's cards that he posts. We've got creative sports going on all the time. In fact, I think today is Fish Camp Slapping Granny Panties Championship or something like that. We just make up names for some of the cards, but either way, it's hilarious. Trust me, he's got the award for the best alternative sports cards in terms of name value. Love it. Okay. First question here. We've got Jay Steele, 1020. How do you feel about McClanahan at 6.5 Ks? Let's go ahead and talk about that because McClanahan is definitely a guy that I looked at today. And guess what? I like it. Let me get that pulled up here shortly. Facing Baltimore. He's at Baltimore. And I'm waiting for my – here we go. So, on the surface, what we're going to see is they've got some low strikeout guys against lefties, right? They've got Rutschman. They've got Mountcastle. They've got McCann, and they've got Mullins. But they also have guys like Hayes at 31%, Santander at 32.6%, Mateo striking out a lot more to lefties than righties. Mateo's been fantastic. I think he's around a 12% K rate if I'm not mistaken. But to lefties, 23.4. Gunnar Henderson at 25.7 and Urias at 26.1. On the season, McClanahan, 31.7% K rate, 3.54 xFIP. Is walking guys at around a 10% clip. I don't like that at all because it's 9% to righties and 12% to lefties. What I do like to see is if they lean one way or the other, I'm usually a little bit, it's a bit more palatable for me to accept walks if it's kind of one side of the plate. And he is 3% higher to lefties, but he's still around 10% to righties. I don't like it, but I still think he can get the strikeouts today. Why? I love it when pitchers are high velocity pitchers. So we've got McClanahan here, right? And he's well over. He's at a 97 mile per hour fastball roughly. And so when you look at that, look at these contact numbers. Now look, you've got Hayes here at 81% contact rate, Adley Rutschman 100% contact rate, but very limited batted ball appearances. Mountcastle 66%, Santander 68%, limited appearances for Mateo 20% contact rate, James McCann 80%, Henderson 100, Urias 69, Cedric Mullins 66. Very limited contact data here, but once again, high velocity pitchers like him, like Strider, and some of these other guys, when they're high velocity fastballs, if they can locate well, typically they're going to pick up the strikeouts. So I like him a ton today at 6.5 strikeouts. Definitely taking more than that projection. Jay Steele, thank you for that question. And believe it or not, McClanahan was going to be in today's card as well. So we went ahead and talked about that and got him involved. And last but not least, this is going to be my play of the day. And when I look in the chat here, I've got Wild Turkey 0080 saying, is Bibby an easy over today? Wild Turkey, you win. We're headed to that play right now to get this thing closed out. This is going to be my play of the day. I'm taking Bibby more than a 5.5 strikeout projection. Look, folks, he's facing the Detroit Tigers. Man, I feel like every time we talk about Detroit, they come out and then suddenly they pound these guys. I don't care. I'm sticking to the process. These strikeout rates: McKinstry, 22.7%. Riley Green, 31.7%. Javi Baez hitting the ball, not striking out a ton this season against righties, 14.1% K rate. But look at the power. No power. Ball's going to be on the ground. Matan, 28.7%. Torkelson, 21.9%. Badu, 27.8%. Vierling, 24.4%. Ibanez, 26.7%. Rogers, 35.4%. And we've got Mr. Bibby sitting here, 3.63 xFIP, 30.2% K rate. Yes, you're going to lean a little bit more fly ball, but the ball doesn't fly if you can't hit the ball. Love Mr. Bibby today. This is the play of the day at 5.5 strikeouts across the industry. I love this play today. Play today. You can mix and match this one with any other plays that you like. So once again, we're going to do a quick recap to go over the plays, and we will close the show out. Thanks so much, guys, for hanging out with us. Play of the day, Bibby, 5.5 strikeouts. We're going more. Mitch Keller, really like this one. Going against the Colorado Rockies, 5.5 strikeouts. We want more than that projection. Zach Gallen, 6.5 strikeouts. We want more than that projection. John Gray, 5.5 strikeouts. We want less than that projection. Folks, I really appreciate you hanging out with me. This has been an amazing time. Once again, you've been hanging out on Take Your Pick'em. Come with your pockets empty, leave with your pockets full. Let's get the sweep today, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.